What is the difference between sales and marketing? What do you each think is sales and marketing very quickly? And then I'm going to tell you a little metaphor that I use, which will have you completely get it in a way you've never got it before. So how's that for a big promise?
Okay, so my thought between sales and marketing is sales is almost like the trying to make it is that short-term business. It's that short-term business. It's the trying to get money in the door there and then. It's trying to make sure that you make that physical sale at that point, where marketing is more about the business strategy and trying to gain those customers over that longer term. So that's where you have that know, like, and trust that would come in through your marketing and through strategy. So I'd say marketing is almost strategy and sales is almost like an initial getting money in the door.
Okay. Anybody else care to give us their interpretation? And what I can say is, Stephen, you're going to love the way that I'm going to describe it.
I think for me, sales is a discussion. So it's often a one-to-one discussion between me and the client. I'm trying to find out what their problems are. And then if I've got solutions, finding out if that's what they want. So sales is a discussion. Marketing is more of an awareness thing. So it's not a one-to-one. Marketing's, for me, certainly not a one-to-one thing. It's almost faceless. I don't see the people that maybe see the marketing, because they'll be consuming either the social media, LinkedIn posts, or looking at the website. So I don't know who they are. So that's how I sort of distinguish it. So sales is a one-to-one discussion, giving them the opportunity to say yes or no, basically.
Interesting. And Juan, what about your fine self?
Okay, sales is more like the action of, or the time near the action of the exchange of goods or a service, and marketing is more like the strategy to get the sales action, more like an unconscious thing to process the sales action.
Interesting. I love it. I've got to say that originally I used to think very similar to you all until I didn't. Okay, so imagine you've got this tea tray, okay, and there is all of these marbles falling from the sky. It's raining marbles, okay. All those marbles are prospects just passing you by. There's millions of them everywhere. People that are just prospects going along in their daily lives. You've got something and you want to market it. You want the world to know you exist. So what you need to do is you need to catch those marbles. You need to be able to grab those marbles and try to balance them on your tea tray. And they're going, I want to get your attention. I want to get your attention. And you want to catch those marbles. And you want to catch them on your tea tray. And while they're on your tea tray, you've got their attention. And then some of them drop off the end of your tea tray and you lose their attention. They get on with their lives. They move on with their existences. They buy other people's products and services. They continue living. But you're trying to catch these marbles as they're falling, and then you're going to try to balance some of them. Some of them are actually going to get used to being on your tea tray. Some of them are going to get used to actually being there, and you're going to have more of a chance to have that dialogue with them. You're going to have that more of a chance to build them and bring this community, and some of them still will drop off, and some of them will disappear off, and that's it. But your marketing is all about nothing else but catching as many marbles, as many prospects on your tea tray. You can have a really big tea tray if you can afford it, or you might have just a little tea tray that's specialized in attracting certain types of prospects that fall from the sky. But the marketing is your tea tray, okay? You're going to have a hole in the middle of that tea tray, a nice, juicy little hole. And when you catch a marble on that tea tray, it might roll around and it might never go down that hole. You might tip it and it drops off. But if it goes through the hole, ching, ching, ring of the bell, that is your sale. That is your conversion from somebody who you've seen and caught as a prospect, and you've converted them into a customer, into a potential advocate. So they're not a customer until they drop through that hole. The hole is the conversion of a prospect into a customer. So you're catching all of these marbles. You're trying to convince them to stay in your community. You've got a really big tea tray and you're trying to convince them. How are you going to convince them all? You're going to lose more. You've got a big tea tray, you're catching more, but you're going to lose more, especially if the message isn't compelling enough to lure them to stay on that tea tray and gently encourage them to drop down that hole. The whole point of sales is to convert people to drop down that existing hole. Nothing more. The whole purpose of marketing is to catch those prospects. If you don't catch the prospects, you might be lucky that one will just accidentally happen to fall straight through the hole. Ka-ching. It was nothing to do with your marketing. It was just to do with blind luck. But if you can catch those marbles, catch those falling opportunities and tip them, gently corral them down the hole with the right social media influencing and videos, with the right marketing messages, with the right attraction to make them want to drop down that hole or even leap down the hole like a bunch of lemmings. Your sales and marketing is about nothing else but catching the prospects with your tea tray and encouraging them to make the conversion to drop down that hole.